Welcome back, everyone, to Echo Night Beyond. In the last episode, we were given the From Software swerve. We were shown what amounts to be the truth, although there's still a bit more to that swerve coming. Kenneth has been reincarnated as a sort into an android, or created as an android, and is perhaps one of the loneliest beings in the galaxy. They are alone only with ghosts to keep them company. And Richard Osmond, put scare quotes around that, who, why we don't remember, is the director of the facility who ended up killing Kenneth, sacrificing him to the Red Stone. This is a huge swerve from Echo Night 1 and 2, where Richard Osmond is out and out the protagonist of the game. Richard Osmond in this game is both protagonist and antagonist, even though you, well, we'll get to that when we get to the end. But it is actually a really good twist to the formula of Echo Night. There is no other antagonist. It is Richard, his own worst enemy. And I think that's incredibly good. One of the reasons why I think this game is my number 2, there's a few sections, especially with how slow you are in the lunar ground, that I think could have been tuned up. But I think this swerve is the best out of all three of them. So, what we have today is we have to finish finding the rest of the Svetlana's crew, and we have to collect a few stragglers out on that lunar landscape. Also, we have to finally catch up with the priest. There is no place else on this facility that has any fog. And the last time we saw the priest was in the work area of the spaceport. So, with the fog all gone from him, there's quite a bit left to do, one supposes. In any case, hopefully, I think we're in the last bit of the game. There are 4 endings. We'll try to get through all 4 of them. And the difference between the 4 endings split in half is a choice to face the truth full force, or to have evidence of that truth. Oh, we went the wrong way. In any case, let us run on down to the Nexus, and then we have to collect some of the last stragglers. Our first stop is back to the lunar landscape. Probably the loneliest landscape I think From Software has ever really made. So, and in a way, I think there's a lot to say here about corporate greed in some way. I don't think they really lean onto it very much, but there is something about that. Richard and Claudia, as we'll come to understand later, are extremely brilliant, but the corporation that they belong to, that created this place, did want more than they were able to really give. And that took a huge toll. Richard's getting his cardio in. for as much as that applies to Richard.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
Okay, so now we have to head down and meet up with the yellow astronaut that we gave the music box to. I think the pacing of the game really slows down when you have to come out here.
Mr. Gold, you're okay.
Why are you here? Why did you come back here?
I can't leave without you, Mr. Gold. I brought this for you. Your sister's music box.
Alan,
Don't give up. You're gonna go back to Earth to be with your sister. Your sister will get well.
yeah, if the surgery goes well, she should be fine.
Yes, she'll be fine.
Hey, if we go back to Nebula, the three of us can go somewhere together.
Are you sure?
Yeah, me, you, and Nelly.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gold. I can't wait to take that trip. Let's hope we can leave soon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And so they are completed with hope for a future that will never happen. And it is funny how some of the ghosts understand that they're dead, like the guy in the jail. And some of them are still thinking that they're not dead, and that they can just go back to Earth.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
Like you followed the fog, my dude.
Since Kayla and Jeffrey died, confined in the basement to save my life, I lived my life with God, but what wasn't something I really wished. That figure in the fog is me. I know. What I wish was in that fog. This is what the director was saying about the fog. The power of that red stone. Take this. Look after it. Kale, Jeffrey, I pray they will be released and find their way out of that dark fog. May the truth fall upon you.
It is interesting how the most violent of the ghosts in this game is the priest, a narrative through line that happens in many From Software games. And by letting go of the priesthood, is he able to pass on. Like, he understood he was dead. But what he wished for, the violence and the hatred in the fog, and that's why he kept following it along. Before we go find the two people he mentioned, we do have one more ghost out here, and we have to bring some closure to a marriage that was disintegrating. So, back out into the soup.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
And we have all of the items that she mentioned, and one that she didn't. The gift was the tie bar that we found after a series of bold jumps. The other is the letter her husband left her. And how that all happened is when the shuttle crashed, she was able to leave. She wasn't in her bunk at the time, and he was. And they lost power to the doors, and they could not get it back. He died in his bunk, trapped. Either he ran out of air, or he ran out of food, or one of the ghosts got him. It wasn't a pretty way for him to go. But she had all of this misgivings of a marriage falling apart. And he wanted salvation for their marriage, and it ended up being their doom.
He is such a hopeless man.
I have to come around.
He is such a hopeless man.
Oh, I can grab this battery, probably. I was full last time I was here.
He is such a hopeless man. He is such a hopeless man.
So let us give her the tie bar first.
I don't need that anymore. I accidentally got it.
She won't accept it until she reads the letter, so let's do that.
A letter? What is this? How amusing. I never thought he would write something like this. He thought that this would make me happy.
Now if you try the tie bar again.
So you picked this up. Thank you. Now I can go to him. He would be hopeless without me. Goodbye. Thank you.
And so she is the last of the people out here. So we can head back. And now we can go find the people that the priest mentioned are still trapped. And we have just the thing for that. Even though, or despite the fact that we've been sitting on these items since pretty much the beginning of the game. So I do think they could have sped this up a little bit. It really slows down the pacing when you have to come out here. I know I've said that.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
Back up the armored core elevator.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
So now that the shortcut has been opened up, because the ghosts have passed on to the great beyond, we can just come straight through. Okay, so we looked at this when we first came by here. And it's ice, you know, because that's what's out here in space. So, you remember that stuff that you're told very early in the game not to mix? We're gonna mix it now. And the ice was covering a door to a secret area. Very dingy, very dilapidated, much more than the rest of the facility. Very much forgotten. Here we have some more bodies, which is strange. Everything is covered in ice, so people died pretty much instantly here.
You? Why did you come here? Get out! Get out right now!
Get out.
I guess they got the ghost memo when you first become a ghost to tell people to get out for no good reason. In any case, here is the rosary that the priest gave us, and we're going to give it to them.
This is no way.
This is the priest.
Priest, did I turn my back on God's teachings?
Well, when you guys started talking about murder, yeah, you probably did.
You said not to hold grudges towards anyone.
I hate you. But if the priest says so, I'll be patient.
Yes, I know, Jeffrey. Poor thing. Someday, you will understand what he meant.
The priest said it's important that everybody corrects their wrongdoings.
Let's go, Jeffrey. He's waiting for us.
I am saved. I hope you will be saved soon.
Go to the observatory, then you can be saved. Waiting.
And they leave us a key to the observatory. The observatory is the final room of the game. There's not much there. Let's take a look at this monitoring system, because I don't know if there's anything really particular to see here.
Where are you? Claudia, it's kind of dark and gloomy in here. I just wanted to save everyone. And this facility... Everybody's dead now. My wish, a red stone. My last wish, Claudia.
Little bit of lore. And this is where we were just at. And this is the oxygen storage area. Really, it's just there for that bit of lore. Okay, so now let's head back into the facility. And we have that last member of the Svetlana.
Adjusting atmospheric pressure. Please wait for pressure stabilization. Atmospheric adjustment complete.
As we travel, it's been very interesting playing through the Echo Knight games. Some of these I've played through before. This is actually the first time I've played through the whole thing of Echo Knight Beyond, and it is quite good. I do wish they would do these horror mystery games again, but I understand why they didn't. Other than Durasane. Durasane is a very fitting successor to these games. And I do quite like the swerve in Durasane 2. That's a very good swerve. What's your favorite From Software swerve? Is it Richard Osmond was the antagonist the whole time? Is it the Eternal Ring isn't actually a ring you put on your finger, but it's actually just a prison? Is it Gwyn isn't actually the most forthcoming individual? Oh, right. In my ramblings, I went into the wrong section. We are heading to the spaceport, where Christina is. Yeah, I'd love to hear what your favorite swerves are in a From Software game. There's been quite a few. Like, almost all of them. Bloodborne swerve was, this isn't werewolves you're fighting. This is a Lovecraftian nightmare, and people forget about that because it's been a few years. But the Lovecraft stuff was not telegraphed at all in the marketing.
Commander, you remember those days? Commander, you remember those days? This is the Commander's pocket watch. You are giving this to me? Commander, thank you very much. I love you.
Okay. Give me another battery. Not that I need it anymore. Let's go check the artist's room. Kenneth is not here. And as we see, the mural is finished. You can see all the concept art for the priest. Oh, you're right. That was Natalia we just sent off, not Christina. And so it is all covered with the lives taken by the redstone here. So the observatory. The observatory is through the energy area. We did look at the door once, and it's been locked this entire time.
That stone was the beginning of everything.
And that's what you will face in the end. What you will wish and how your wish will be granted. I'm looking forward to seeing it through. Oh yeah, come to my room one last time. The picture's done.
So he confirms that the picture is finished. So let us go get whatever it is he wanted us to see. And that is this master key. So the choice between the 4 endings is whether you use this master key or not. And let us see if there's a quick save point around here. Right, okay. We're going to find a quick save point, and then we are going to do the endings. And there's a very particular reason why I'm choosing this save point. And that'll be evident very soon. Alright, let's head back up. And let's do the endings. Over here is the observatory. So we are finally being offered the redstone, a mineral of the moon sent up here from Earth. And what if we accept it? What if we accept what we are being given? Claudia, the person we've been searching for, is a ghost. She's been dead quite a long time. Our entire search as Richard Osmond has been generally fruitless. It's been for nothing. And since we haven't faced the truth of what we are, we don't know truly what we are. So what if we accept it?
The stone that grants you wish in exchange for one's life. He passed away, but I have regrets. I'm glad that I knew you. You and I are the same. Goodbye, my Richard.
In that ending, she tells him that she and Richard and us are the same. I'm not being coy, but I am stating that Claudia created Richard, the android. And in so doing, she is just the same as the Richard that we are playing as, unable to let Claudia go, unable to let Richard go. They recreate a facsimile of who they lost. And in that ending, quote, Richard Osmond, unquote, sacrifices his life because he still hasn't really come to grips that he is an android and without a soul, and kills himself, intending to sacrifice his life so that Claudia could live. So let us decline the stone. But again, we haven't come to grips with who we are. And so, let us see what happens when we decline the stone.
You have the same thoughts. I am really glad I met you. Those days we spent together, I was so happy with you. Richard, thank you.
In that ending, Claudia is impressed that her creation has the same thoughts as Richard and is not the same as her. That she believes that this Richard, because she hasn't come to grips and you haven't come to grips with who you are, is successful in cloning Richard Osman's thoughts. And that they're not the same. And that this Richard could let go of Claudia, unlike Claudia, who could not let go of Richard. And so, in a show of love, maybe, Richard brings her to a place where she can always watch the Earth from her place. And that's the end. But there is 2 more endings for us to get. And to do that, we have to face the truth.
Access granted. Releasing lock.
B2 is a secret area that has been locked the entire game until just now. And down here is a lonely little room, hidden away from pretty much everybody. And we come face to face. The painting of Claudia, painted probably by Kenneth, and a mummified body of a man who leaves a ring and a letter addressed to Claudia and signed by Richard Osmond. We had clues of that earlier. He was writing many drafts of this letter. And as the location at the bottom says, we are in the director's office. The director, the whole time, has been Richard Osmond. My dearest Claudia, it has been a while since I last wrote you. I hope things are well. We continue to face new challenges here every day, but I'm determined to see it through. As you know, building a lunar facility was a dream both my father and I shared. I have every intention of making sure the project is a success. I realize my leaving just before the wedding was abrupt and must have hurt you terribly. But as soon as everything is in order here, I will come for you straight away. Please be patient just a little while longer, my dear. I will write to you again soon. Richard Osmond. And they never had that wedding. Never once. He had her engagement ring here the whole time, and on our person, we had a engagement ring of a sort, given to us by probably the ghost of Claudia. We have broken computer screens, probably broken by him. Lovely little reflection. And the dead body of Richard Osmond. No better evidence than that. And that is all to see down here. What happens now is a very quiet march for Richard. I can't imagine what it might feel like. The clues have been there the whole time. Sort of very Sixth Sense-ish. Sixth Sense-ish. To realize you've been dead the whole time. You are not who you thought you were. You are not who you were programmed to be. Programmed to think you were.
Richard, why did you go? You left me behind. He disappeared, so I created you to make you look like him and to replace him. You are an android, not the real Richard. The stone that grants your wish in exchange for someone's life. I wanted to return to Earth with Richard. I wished it in exchange for my own life. But Richard is gone. I don't need this stone that granted my wish anymore. My android, a lifeless being. I wonder what you will wish for.
If you were wondering where I got the fact that Claudia is a engineer and that she created the androids, here you go. She created Richard, the android, in her grief because she could not let go of her fiancé. She wanted to replace him, but he can't replace that which is lost. So she wished upon the stone and took her own life in her wedding gown, in her grief because she couldn't have that wedding that she dreamed about, and it failed.
Why? You look so much like him. Richard. You're gone. I wish you were the real Richard. In that ending, what does an android wish for? He is disabused of the notion that he has any life to give to the stone. So what does he wish for? That is left ambiguous. And her despondence is because Richard wouldn't have done the same mistakes she did. To her, recreating Richard to replace him as an android was a mistake. That she couldn't let go of grief, but she believed that Richard Osmond would be able to let go of grief. So
disabused of the notion that just because he looks just like him means he is him. She passes on, grief-stricken still. Where you will decline this time. And that is Echo Night Beyond. Richard proved himself that he is not the same as Claudia, that Richard can let go in his grief, even if he was an android. And so, with the memory of Richard alive inside her, she passes on. I think a lot of people will probably joke about the fact that the whole game surrounds you with, like, managing your own heart rate, when in reality, you don't have a heart at all, you're an android. This goes back to one of those through lines that FromSoft loves coming back to, and that is belief. The more somebody believes in something, the more it is likely to be. For instance, in the true ending of Kingsfield 2J, we have an angry Alexander who states pretty much outright that it doesn't matter if the dragon swords have, get their power from them, it is because we believe in that power. And that is the same here. Richard goes through the game believing he is Richard. He believes wholeheartedly he is Richard Osmond. And to have that rug thrust out of him right at the end when there's no danger for him at all to test the fact that he doesn't have a heartbeat is pretty good. There is All Father Now Toshizin. But yeah, Richard is a person who believes he had that, and in that belief, he was literally that person. And that is why the heart rate works, because the power of Richard's belief that he is a real person supersedes and became fact. It wasn't a lie, he believed it. And part of that ending is coming to grips with himself as not Richard. And an allegory for grief and letting go. Thank you everyone for joining me for Echo Night Beyond. And I will see you guys in the next game, which I'm fairly sure I know exactly what it is. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.